The 2002 film Mr. Deeds, it is a comedy I had always enjoyed over the years. Even though it's not perfect, it is still very entertaining. To be honest, this one is a mixed bag for me. I'm not saying it's a horrible film, but it's certainly not one of the best movies that Adam Sandler has done. So the story of this one is that it follows a man named Longfellow Deeds. He runs a pizzeria in Mandrake Falls, New Hampshire. And so when two businessmen show up telling him he is the heir of a late multi-billionaire who was also his great uncle, then he heads to New York City in order to collect that $40 billion. And from there, it's a movie that I think is alright. Now, don't get me wrong, this is still one of the funniest comedies that Adam Sandler has been a part of. But at the same time, it doesn't do much with the story, which I thought could have been improved upon a little bit. But what makes this one appealing is the character Deeds. He's soft-hearted, he cares about others. Even when he gets all this money, he doesn't let it change him. Plus, he's really generous with that money, which actually makes him likable and just a cool character overall. When it comes down to it, while this one gets sappy at times, it is still enjoyable for what it is, and I really felt like it could have been much better than what it turned out to be. Now, when it comes to acting, I thought everyone did a decent job. Adam Sandler, he is the highlight here. His character, Longfellow Deeds, runs a small town pizzeria. And so when these two men show up, tell him, hey, your uncle passed away, and we have this $40 billion company, then Deeds, he goes to New York City, causes a little trouble, and actually leads to some funny moments throughout this film. Now, as far as this being a comedy, I didn't think it was as funny compared to some of his other movies. And then there's Winona Ryder. I actually thought the chemistry between her and Adam Sandler was good. Now, the love story, it wasn't that great to be honest. Like, for example, The Wedding Singer. That is a better love story because that film actually took time to develop feelings that those two characters had for each other. In here, it kind of feels rushed. And then there's John Turturro playing Emilio. I thought that was an interesting character. The fact he keeps saying he's sneaking up on people, just disappearing and reappearing, it actually adds to the film in terms of that character. And actually, this movie ends on a happy note. I know I said this movie gets sappy at times, but it's not the worst film I've seen. It is a comedy movie that is alright for what it is. Peter Gallagher, good job playing the CEO. He wants the company. He's always been the second in charge, so he can take over it and sell it for a huge amount of money. At the end of the day, this film, while it's not the best Adam Sandler movie out there, it's still enjoyable for what it is, even though it could have been a little bit better in my opinion. I'm giving this film a 6 out of 10. Well, at least this one is watchable in my opinion because, let me tell you, Adam Sandler has starred in some awful movies, especially later on in his movie career. So I appreciate this being a remake of the 1936 film Mr. Deeds Goes to Town, which I haven't seen yet, but I heard good things about it. Still though, as a comedy, this is far from a boring movie, and you can watch it on a typical weekend and just have an entertaining time. And that is my review of Mr. Deeds. Okay, leave your comments down below in the section and let me know what you think about this movie. Alright, this is Slim Guy 172 saying peace out.